Open-world RPGs are taking exploration and freedom to new heights with bold worlds and deep systems. These upcoming titles promise vast landscapes to discover, rich stories to shape, and unique paths for every playthrough. Let's dive right into it. Lord of the Mysteries is an open-world MMORPG built around investigation, combat, and structured character progression. Players operate within a Victorian-era setting influenced by steampunk and Lovecraftian horror, taking roles linked to the Nighthawks. Gameplay uses a Beyonder pathway system where abilities grow through defined paths such as Seer, Apprentice, and Spectator. A sanity system limits power use to avoid corruption, while the acting method requires adopting specific personas to unlock skills and advance.
果然非凡之事没那么容易找到，还害我看了2本侦探小说，累死我了。光靠图书馆借来的书肯定找不到。对了，去地下市场转转吧。约瑟夫的旧书店也许又有好东西了。学习非凡知识，就是得靠非凡手段。就现在，出发！ 今天天气真好啊！不好好逛逛，怎么对得起难得的好阳光？人生啊，就应该好好虚度。呀，好热闹，居然有巡游活动！但今天不是什么特殊的节日啊，谁这么大手笔？加德列百货公司，这不是贝克兰德的大百货公司吗？ 难不成要来停更开分店了？真不错，以后买东西更方便了。啊，银质的纽扣，羊皮手工靴子，天鹅羽毛笔，就是我的钱包可要遭斩碎了。快到铁十字街的市场了，这里的瓜果物美价廉，对我的钱包更友好。 下午好啊，布什先生。
哟，米娅小姐，来块新鲜的后腿肉嘛，上等的黑猪肉。哈哈哈哈！哎，
好啊，我晚餐的时候再来。听说卖猪肉的布彻先生以前是廷干大学文学系的学生。廷大大学生卖猪肉，这事儿当年还上过《老实人报》的头版头条。前面就是工厂区了，工厂的烟囱把天都熏黑了。 哎，快要下雨了，得快点了。地下市场藏在恶龙酒吧里，如果没有熟客指路，普通人根本找不到。恶龙酒吧以黑啤酒和拳击闻名，每次开赛擂台前都坐满了人，真搞不懂这种野蛮活动有什么好看的。 下午好，
是米娅小姐啊，进去吧。
看门人汤姆，看着5大3粗，其实是个妻管严。之前喝醉被老婆拿羽毛掸子追到铁十字街，被我救了下来。从此我进地下市场就方便多了。万能的地下市场，我来了。
这位小姐。 看看我们的狒狒背包吧，纯手工的，只卖3苏勒6便士。
不用了，谢谢。奇怪了，这不是地下黑市吗？怎么还卖这种儿童产品？
下午好。
下午好啊，约瑟夫先生。上次托您留意的书有货吗？
刚淘来的好货。偶遇冥界生物的100种。
这本书确实有非凡力量的残留，不过老板的肝脏看起来不太健康。老规矩，打个8折吧。
你呀，不给你打折，你又要跟我磨半个钟头了。你这砍价的劲头啊，跟我以前一个老主顾很像。
啊，对了，约瑟夫先生，要注意肝脏健康，少喝点黑啤酒哦。
我的个女神啊！我偷喝了2杯也能看出来。现在的大学生就是厉害。
这位小姐，你再考虑考虑。你看看这手艺，这质感，绝对配得上你的气质。给你便宜点，
不用了，谢谢。
怎么样？
不是，我堂堂廷根大学高材生，怎么会背这么优质的包？
这么一个，哎，二苏了，你拿走。
下午好啊，卡卡先生。
下午好啊，大学生。想听点什么？
故乡的小茉莉。
得嘞。
The hideout is on fire.
The Godslayer is set in an eastern steampunk capital ruled by Celestials. Gameplay revolves around elemental combat using 2 based powers tied to fire, water, earth, metal, and wood, with interactions affecting battles. The player takes the role of an Elemancer aligned with resistance groups such as the Starfall Society. Progression involves learning skills from scrolls and masters, managing faction relationships, and navigating political pressure within a city dominated by steam technology.
Do anything rash.
Easy for you to say. Now, how do I get past all the soldiers?
Something's up. What happened? On range. Then again, is it this one?
And he tells me not to do anything rash.
Mind your business. Damn it! It's an elemental. What?
There you go.
Damn! Stop right there! Where did he go? It's you! He's up there!
Whoa, too many.
Stop! There he is! Nowhere to run down! Move! Have a taste of my ass! No! Put it out! Put it out!
Cool off, you lot. Gonna be cold.
What's going on here?
Here we are.
Fodder, fools, humans. Which is next?
That must be Master. for the signal.
No one knows how that world came into being.
Tides of Annihilation is a fantasy action-adventure set in a ruined modern London altered by an otherworldly invasion. Players control Gwendolyn and engage in real-time combat while commanding spectral knights inspired by Arthurian legend. Gameplay includes building an order of knights, combining abilities for coordinated attacks, and fighting massive knight entities that can be climbed and entered. Progress involves uncovering story elements, rescuing family members, and navigating distorted city spaces where reality and myth coexist.
It is reforged. My wish can be fulfilled. But wishes come at a price. To pursue one's wishes is to court one's doom.
Gwendolyn, this is your final warning.
My quarrel lies not with you, but I will take back everything that belongs to me. Even if the price is my soul.
Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic is set at the closing era of the Old Republic, where a Force user stands between collapse and renewal. Gameplay is built around action-based combat, Force abilities, and branching decisions that influence alignment toward light or dark. Player choices affect character relationships, story outcomes, and available powers. The structure supports dialogue-driven scenes, cinematic encounters, and progression shaped by moral direction within a galaxy facing political and spiritual change.
My dear children, I write this letter to you as testimony of my undying love.
Solasta 2 places players in the mana-infused land of Neokos, where a party of 4 adventurers confronts a growing threat led by Shadwin. Gameplay is built around turn-based tactical combat, using the SRD 5.2 rule set, with dice rolls determining outcomes of actions and abilities. Players create and manage party members, select classes and ancestries, prepare spells, and position characters carefully during encounters while making narrative choices that influence quests and character progression.
You should have saved her.
She deserves the peace of death.
What an interesting family you must have.
Is that fear I sense? Good.
Stay in the light. Never give in to darkness. Your loving mother, Mahin.
Runa is built around turn-based battles, party management, and character relationships within a science fantasy setting shaped by ancient technology called runas. Combat uses an elemental break system with ordered turns, elemental affinities, party swapping without losing turns, and group abilities. Outside of combat, gameplay includes forming social links, optional romance paths, solving elemental puzzles using multiple skills, and managing a personal base by unlocking and upgrading facilities through quests and recruited characters.
Rise. My forests fold.
Project Tal is set in a fantasy land shaped by Korean folklore and Tal mask mythology, where combat plays a central role in restoring balance to a damaged realm. Gameplay centers on melee and ranged combat using blades, bows, and magic, with progression tied to forming packs, choosing weapons, and developing virtues. Players fight corrupted creatures known as omen beasts and interact with ancestors to gain new abilities. The structure supports solo play and cooperative play, with systems built around steady character growth and combat-driven objectives.
Sneaky, sneaky. Stole the golden lash before I could gift it. Taught cross the starling bow. When felling fields burn, my gifts returned. Sharp end first. So wear the hide of wild kin for thee, envoy. My arm, my skin. Find me, fawn. Betray me again.
Project Tal is set in a fantasy land shaped by Korean folklore and Tal mask mythology, where combat plays a central role in restoring balance to a damaged realm. Gameplay is built around fast-paced, action-driven battles that allow players to chain combos, target weak points, and climb large enemies during encounters. AI companions fight alongside the player with defined roles such as melee, ranged, or support, reacting to situations in real time by assisting attacks, creating barriers, or providing recovery support as battles unfold.
Millions of souls pour into the underworld every day.
Swords of Legends places players in the role of an underworld enforcer within a setting drawn from Chinese mythology. Gameplay uses action-based combat that rewards timing, positioning, and tactical choices rather than endurance testing. A soul system allows captured monster spirits to be summoned during fights, adding situational support. Progression includes switching weapon and skill loadouts to handle different enemies, while the wide, linear structure delivers guided areas built around narrative scenes and combat encounters.
I've watched over this city for ages, and every name in your scroll of death. Not one of them dies quietly. You, a soulless husk. You can judge my fate! Why wrestle rogues when their artifact can do what brute strength cannot?
What? The soulless husk?
The living cast their dead to flame, and sacrifice ignites the war banners!
Here we go again.
Today, a new chapter in this land's history shall be written.
Crimson Desert places Cliff at the center of a conflict across the continent of Pywall, where combat, survival systems, and large-scale encounters drive progression. Gameplay revolves around fast-paced melee and ranged battles using swords, spears, bows, abilities, and elemental effects, with encounters ranging from duels to large clashes. Players travel across varied regions, use mounts, climb terrain, glide, gather resources, and craft gear. Multiple factions, enemy groups, and bosses shape objectives tied to rebuilding the Greymanes and confronting rising threats.
Together as one, we fight for the future of all. Sound the horn of our final battle. Fight! Fight for Pywall!
Your fight is not for revenge, nor glory, nor pride.
This is your hell!
Remember who you are, and let it guide your path. For at the end of it, you will find the answers you seek.
So, how did it feel to learn the truth about the Night Sky tragedy?
ArcheAge Chronicles takes place in Aurora, where players operate as pioneers tied to a trading company and navigate conflicts linked to ancient ruins, faction interests, and a major airship disaster. Gameplay combines action-based combat with weapon switching, dodging, blocking, and parrying across melee, ranged, and magic styles. Outside combat, systems include hunting, gathering, farming, housing, crafting, and player-driven trade routes, with cooperative and competitive play shaping progression and territorial control.
Prove yourself. If you survive this trial,
fall to ash, consumed by the void.
Chrono Odyssey places players in a large shared fantasy land built around action, combat, and time-based mechanics. Battles rely on dodging, timing, and ability use, with a chronotector system that can stop or rewind time during encounters. Group content includes dungeons and raids designed for coordinated play. Progression also involves harvesting resources, crafting equipment, trading with others, and deep character customization, covering appearance, body options, and visual details.
Some say time stops for no one. Neither man nor God, living nor dead. Yet what then of those who deigned to turn back the hands of fate? To save what remains of our broken worlds, you need only take my hand.
Aion 2 takes place 2 centuries after the fall of the Tower of Eternity, built around large-scale environments connected by dimensional rifts. Gameplay uses real-time action combat mixed with targeting systems, allowing movement and attacks on land, in the air, and underwater. 8 classes define roles and abilities, while progression emphasizes quests, solo and cooperative dungeons, crafting, and gear enhancement. Player conflict is structured through arenas, timed abyss zones, and rifting that enables limited incursions into opposing territory.
The Archelites.
Edge of Memories places players in the land of Avaris, where a spreading affliction called the Corrosion mutates people, creatures, and environments. Players control Eline, a soul whisperer able to manipulate the corrosion within herself during combat. Gameplay centers on fast-paced action battles with combo chaining, companion skill coordination, and a berserker transformation that alters combat flow. Progress involves traveling across changing regions, managing allies, and responding to environments that evolve as the corrosion advances.
What did you do to me?
Nothing that you couldn't do before. Look at you. A child playing at greater things.
The Black Beast. So that's who I am now.
This is the corrosion's only known law. To gather and grow. To unite its corruption into one putrid mass and create the biggest, baddest, and ugliest of monsters. What price would be acceptable to pay in order to rid the world of the corrosion?
The Blood of Dawnwalker places Cohen in a 14th century European setting shaped by war, plague, and rising supernatural forces. Gameplay shifts between human and vampire forms across day and night, each offering different combat abilities and movement options. Player decisions affect time progression, character relationships, and available outcomes, creating pressure around which quests to pursue. Combat supports melee weapons, magic, and vampiric powers, with encounters adapting to form changes and moral choices.
They came to rule. To turn us into mindless, docile cattle. Not me, though. They tried to change me into one of them. But I became something else instead. Their worst nightmare. A Dawnwalker. Trapped between the two worlds. Fighting to even the score. Fighting to understand the evil behind it all.
He is out there watching, seeping into you, growing.
Dragon Quest VII Reimagined begins on the island of Estard, where players uncover sealed lands by traveling between past and present eras. Gameplay is built around turn-based battles, party management, and a vocation system that grants abilities and spells. A moonlighting mechanic allows 2 vocations to be equipped at once for flexible builds. Progression involves restoring lost regions, resolving localized conflicts, and strengthening companions through combat, skills, and narrative-driven objectives.
It's up to us to fight for our village's future.
We might find a clue to help get us back home.
We're finally going to unlock the world's mysteries.
Phantom Blade Zero places Soul in a martial arts-driven setting where combat, weapon mastery, and time pressure define progression. Gameplay revolves around fast, precise melee combat using a large arsenal of weapons, each tied to distinct techniques that can be mixed through phantom edges. Defeated enemies yield new weapons and skills, expanding combat options. Systems emphasize timing, positioning, and adaptability, with encounters designed around chaining attacks, countering foes, and managing limited time while uncovering layered conspiracies. The Witcher 4 continues the series after the events of Wild Hunt, shifting the focus toward a new chapter on the continent. The game is built around monster hunting, narrative-driven quests, and faster combat systems than before. Reports point to Ciri taking the central role, with abilities that differ from a traditional Witcher. Gameplay places importance on character interaction, decision-making, and large connected regions that support travel, contracts, and story progression shaped by player actions.
Salt. Almost had me fooled, Fruin.
Vindictus Defying Fate centers on precise, skill-based combat where reading enemy patterns and reacting at the right moment determines success. Each playable character uses distinct command inputs, weapons, and abilities that shape combat flow and tactics. Gameplay emphasizes dodging, counterattacks, and heavy strikes within structured encounters and dungeon-style areas. Progression comes from mastering character mechanics, unlocking skills, and equipping cosmetic and functional gear, with options for solo play or cooperative battles against powerful enemies.
Land of ancient India.
The Age of Bhaarat places players in the role of a forest warden defending a homeland threatened by invading Rakshasa demons. Gameplay revolves around close-range combat using traditional weapons, spiritual abilities, and a grappling hook system that supports vertical movement during fights. Players travel through forests, mountains, and ruined regions inspired by Indian epics, uncovering hidden paths and artifacts. Progression is shaped through weapon selection, ability customization, and choices that influence how conflicts and story events unfold.
The time has come to fight these invaders. The time has come to fight these monsters. The time has come to fight the demons. The time has come to fight those who oppress the forest tribes. The time has come to declare war. It's time for you to join the army of heroes. Fight the monsters! Stand with your people! Play the Age of Bhaarat! Protect the weak! Punish the wicked! Bharat Mata ki jai!
End, hero. When would you like to begin?
Threads of Time centers on a narrative that moves across multiple eras, allowing players to recruit party members from different points in history. Gameplay uses turn-based combat with systems that let players manipulate time to alter turn order, weaken enemies, and trigger coordinated team attacks. Progression is tied to building a balanced party, unlocking abilities linked to each era, and restoring the order of the Time Knights while confronting threats that affect the past, present, and future.